Want to talk about bracket busters? Can the Lakers be a bracket buster? What I mean by that is I'm looking at OKC and Minnesota, bro, who's kind of been at the top of the food chain in the West. I've never felt threatened by them guys if we would have had to meet them in the first round. I felt like the Lakers with LeBron and AD would not allow those young boys to beat them in the first round. So I felt comfortable if we had to match up with them. The Lakers, to me, honestly, though, are in trouble because they could fall out of the top 10 spot before it's all said and done with. But when you look at the Lakers and Golden State, because they are the ninth and the 10th team,
Right.
which team do you feel, if healthy, is the most dangerous going into a playoff?
Well, for sure, I think the Lakers are better built for the playoffs than the Warriors are, as far as how far they can get. Right now, the Warriors have leapfrogged us. They're in the ninth spot.
Yep.
So if the play-in tournament started today, I believe we would face the Warriors, and then winner of that game would go on to face the winner between the Kings and the Mavericks, which the Kings we don't match up very well with, but the Mavericks we can beat them, right? So first of all, to be a bracket buster, you got to get into the playoffs, right? And so and to get into the playoffs, it is going to be tough. You got to win 2 straight game sevens, but hear me out. I slept on this, man. Last night I went to sleep really negative, thinking, man, it's over for the Lakers. But then I thought about it. Well, wait a minute. The Lakers technically won, based off of the play-in tournament when everybody was playing playoff-style basketball. Guys were getting in fights and shit. In the play-in tournament, they were basically able to win, what was it, 7 straight games? 7 straight games, I believe. And then once you got
asked my brother this morning. I said, I'm trying to figure out. Well, we was talking last night during the game. I'm trying to figure out when the last time the Lakers actually had a substantial winning streak going on, and he said it was the IST tournament. That's what he told me.
And I think we won the final. What was it? The final 3 games in a row in the tournament. So
yep.
They could win. They could technically get in the play-in as long as they're in the seeding. They've done it before this year. They won like basically 3 game sevens in a row to win the championship. So can they win 2 game sevens to make it to the playoffs? Sure. Now, once we get into the playoffs, here's the problem. Are we going to be beat up? You see what happened to AD last night. If we're beat up and we have to match up against the Thunder, they might run circles around us, right? So because of that extra energy you're going to exert to just try to get into the play-in, that's the biggest issue for me. All the extra games, extra mileage on LeBron's body, AD now with the injury. You know what I'm saying? That's the hard part. And that's what I was trying to avoid that by moving up. But with 14 games left and guys creating separation on us, looks like the Mavericks are 2 games over us. And it looks like the Kings are like 3 or 4 games over us. So it's not looking likely.
Unbelievable, bro. How close and down the wire this thing is getting. And then when you look at the remaining games, Dan and I talked about at the beginning of the show, the Lakers, 8 of their last 14 games are on the road. They haven't played great on the road overall as it is. And as Dan alluded to, if the Lakers remain in this spot, they're going to have to win 2 games on the road just to get in to the playoffs. So this by no means is going to be an easy hill to climb. But again, we have Sacramento, Dallas, Los Angeles, Golden State. What team, just looking from the outside in, we're Lakers supporters through and through, but just looking from the outside in, which team, Dan, do you feel like is the best team right now that's in this in-season tournament situation right now that really could be a threat moving forward in April and May?
I believe the Lakers, if healthy, it could be them, but that's a big question mark because we've been hurt all year. But if they're healthy, it could be them. If it's not the Lakers, though, I think the Warriors are done. I don't believe in them at all. I know people say, well, that's crazy. They got Steph Curry. They got a chance. If you pay attention to the top 8 seeds, most of those are predominantly young teams.
Yep.
Right. You're talking about the Thunder, who's currently, you're talking about the Thunder, who's currently at the top place in the West. Look at who their 2 top players are: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and they're all 25 and under, right? You talk about the Nuggets. The Nuggets, their superstars are under 30. You talk about the Timberwolves and who they're led by, right? And right now they're in 3rd place. And then you look at the Clippers are the anomaly. They're the older team. right? They're there. And then you got the Pelicans, again, a young team. The Suns are one of the anomalies. But again, most of the top teams, the top 8 teams, I say 6 out of the 8 are younger teams. And so I will say the team that's probably strapped to go the furthest, because usually experience trumps everything in the playoffs, right? I'm looking at a young team that has experience, been in the playoffs, and could actually do some damage. I'm looking at the Sacramento Kings right now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Kings. I think they could actually get, to the second round, maybe more, if they get the right matchup in the first round moving forward. But obviously, if the Lakers are healthy, I still got us. I think we can. I think the Lakers, if healthy, they can definitely put some scaring into some teams. Maybe go back to the Western Conference Finals. Who knows? But we're gonna have to avoid the Denver Nuggets because for some reason they have our number, man.
That's really the block that I was about to spin on and ask you, what team really concerned you the most going into
Denver.
this playoff run? Is it clearly, without debate, the Denver Nuggets?
It is the Denver Nuggets because Jokic has eaten Anthony Davis alive. He just destroyed him. And I'll say, as far as Denver goes, I mean, even Jamal Murray, we talk about not having a solution for the Joker. We don't have a solution for Jamal Murray. We don't have a solution for Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon gets off. That's a fact. KCP gets off.
Michael Porter Jr. been sniping that thing on us, man. They're just a really deep team, and they did it the right way. They built through the draft, obviously, with Jamal Murray and Jokic, and then they added the pieces around them. So they've done it the right way. We can't even hate on that, So it's definitely them. They're the team. They're the boogeyman.
You mentioned the Sacramento Kings. They're the defending division champions. They clearly have had outnumbered this season. They've swept the season series versus the Lakers. But, they've had an interesting story, the Kings, because they had 2 guys that didn't make the All-Star team this year, in Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. And, they've played pretty well. I don't know if it's that they playing down to the level of competition or what it is, because, they look good against the Lakers and they've been able to get it done versus the Lakers. But I've seen Sacramento play poor throughout this entire season, first and second half, throughout different pockets. And I don't know. I think with me, the case is still out with them. I got to see what they do when it matters the most.
Oh, for sure. But remember, they took Golden State to 7 games last year. So they have a little bit of a playoff experience. So they got Sabonis, obviously De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk. Harrison Barnes has been playing solid basketball this season. And they got good size in the paint. They got, obviously, JaVale coming off the bench. They got some decent pieces, not to mention, obviously, their young players like Keegan Murray. So that's just a team that I feel like could catch somebody slipping. That's why I'm saying, out of the teams we mentioned that are in the play-in tournament, if the Lakers get healthy, it's us. We're the scariest, play-in tournament team if we're healthy. But again, that's been such a huge question mark. You just can't pencil us in no more and say, yeah, well, the Lakers are going to be healthy by, late April, and they're going to make a push.
Right. For the latest and greatest on your Los Angeles Lakers, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we appreciate the support. Follow us on social media at Lakerland Show and join our Playback TV room for our free VIP access to our Lakers watch parties and, of course, the Lakerland podcast. That's playback.tv/Lakerland.